Hello, beautiful friends, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Crystal Lee Cotton, and I hope you are ready to get ready together today. Let's go ahead and jump into it. I have a couple of... Donde está? Okay, sorry. Lost my sponge for a second. I have a couple of things on my brain today as far as things I want to talk about, and they're kind of heavier topics, if I'm being honest with you, so I don't know how much makeup I'll get to talking about. But I feel as though it has been enough time on my channel to have some heavier talks. So, therein being the point, I want to tell you a little morbid and hilarious story right off the bat. So, for backstory, and it's important backstory. This is like lore. This is Crystal Lee Cotton lore, if you will. Before I was Crystal Lee Cotton, I was in a relationship with another person that is not my husband, obviously, when I was much younger. And we were together for about a year and a half, give or take, very seriously. And very shortly before we were about to hard launch and move in together, etc., he just decided to die. Like, he was like, I'm out, I'm sorry. And I know that sounds so bad, and I know I'm saying this so lightly, but I've been carrying this with me for 9 years now. So it's kind of both just a fact of life at this point, and also it's just a fact of life at this point. I loved him so dearly, and I still do love him so dearly. I still cry, and I still mourn, and I still carry that grief. But I am also king dead boyfriend joke, okay? I think it bothers some of my friends more than others. Some of them think it's so funny. Some of them get it. But some of them are like, I cannot believe you said that. So, that being said, funny story. I have not been sleeping well lately. So I have been up at dumb hours of the night, just kind of doing nothing, you know? And I realized for 9 years that I have missed the opportunity to tell people that my relationship ended because I got ghosted. And I think I was laughing so hard that I was shaking the bed that my family was actively sleeping in. And I'm like, hee hee hee, this is so funny, because I'm very much a person who copes with humor. But that being said, I also found a channel within minutes of having this experience of this woman named Sabrina. Her channel's name is Sab for Tony, and she also has gone through partner loss. She was married. I was not married. And it just really grounded me in the fact that just because time has passed doesn't mean grief goes away. And that was such a pleasant and comforting feeling, to be able to just cry it out for probably the first time in a little bit. I'm not going to say it's been years, because it hasn't been years since I've cried. It's not even been that many months since I've cried, but it's the first time I've really cried without feeling guilty about it. As far as yes, I'm remarried or married, and I have children, and I have all of these things, and my life has moved on, but I still carry this empty part of me. The grief never gets lighter. I just get stronger, and that is such a beautiful experience to carry with me at this point in life, because I remember feeling at points in my life I would not get through it. And multiple points after he had passed away, I felt I couldn't get through it, and I really did all the wrong things to cope with it. So, that being said, carry your grief proudly, because grief is really just the residual love left over that you don't have anywhere to invest it in. It's really beautiful thing. Truly, truly, truly. It's so beautiful. Um, but yeah, I do miss him frequently. And I'm so blessed because I have a partner now that I can talk about him with. And I was not always that lucky. I did not actually go from my original relationship to being with my husband. Hoed. I hoed for a long time, probably about 3 years. And the last year of my hoe phase was like the worst relationship I'd ever been in. Hey, if the person I was in that relationship with is watching this, okay, weird for you, but do it, I guess. I'll take the view. um, it was the worst relationship of my life, and I felt like that's what I deserved because I didn't feel like I deserved to have love twice. And that is just not true. That's not true. That's not how it works. Life isn't fair. You don't just get one big love. Like, if you do, that's beautiful and amazing. But at the same time, like, hearts are meant to grow and change. And I'm so blessed that I have had such a support in my life as far as like people who want me to grow and change and move through the grief and move through the guilt and move through the lows and the dark and the heavy and find yourself in a lighter place. Like, you deserve that. If you're, get my eyebrow on. And that goes, like, even for people who haven't experienced loss per se, but like people who have exited relationships for whatever reason. Like, I, I think that there is more value in continuing on with life than being stagnant in your sadness. I do not think it is honoring to the dead or to the living, even, to allow your sadness to control your life. Feel it, experience it, but walk through it. Don't sit in it and wallow in it. And that was something I really struggled with when I was younger. That being said, 9 years without my sweet, 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 um, sucks. Sucks hard. Sucks so bad. Um, and I'm smiling when I say this because, like, life is still beautiful and life is still great and life is still great. And I've got two beautiful babies that I would not have if I didn't go through this experience. And, like, that's a really hard thing to carry sometimes. Like, I am such a what ifer. I really am. And I shouldn't be. And I've not always been this way. I'm always, or for a lot of the time, I'm like, it is what it is, right? Like, it's not that deep. It is what it is. What happens, happens. Move on with it, right? That's usually me. But also, at the same, on the same opposite side of the same quarter, I am a what ifer. And I'm like, what if life was different? But it's not. And I cannot live my life in what ifs because I am a parent and there are already so many, like, concrete things in my life that I need to appreciate and be grateful for and really cherish and respect because I think that is so much more honoring than feeling guilty. And sometimes I wish I could go back. This might make me cry. I wish I could go back to my 17-year-old self in her grief and just, like, tell her that it's okay to feel that. Like, death is permanent and it's heavy, and that you don't need to chase different highs to run from your grief because it's going to catch up with you every time. Every time your grief will catch up with you. Every time. Because it's permanent. In this situation, it's there are other situations where it's like, oh, you were embarrassed, or oh, you like did something silly, goofy, mean, whatever. There's repair to those situations, right? There's not repair to death. Um, it's very standardly permanent unless you're Jesus Christ, and he was not. And I find so much um, I guess deeper joy in life having experienced the pain that I've experienced, because I know how low I can be, and I know what it feels like in the pit of despair, you know?
Pit of despair.
But at the same time, I'm also kind of a hardened person in the sense where I'm just going to keep going. Like, I don't really have any other choice. I'm just going to keep going. And I wish I had more empathy and sympathy for um, both myself and other people. It's one of those weird situations where it's like I love other people so deeply and I can relate to them. But I've lived my own experiences and I've like seen my life play out that when certain people just decide that like life's going to be crappy for the rest of their lives and then they don't choose any other like path, I don't feel sorry for them. I don't feel sorry for them because you're just setting yourself up for failure at that point, and that's not it. Um, the goal should always be improvement, uh, progress. All right, I ran out of storage, had to pull some maneuvers, but I feel like the most valuable part of the human experience is watching yourself go from where you've come from to being where you are. And it has been such a beautiful experience, truly, truly, to be blessed to carry the grief that I carry in the way that I do and still like feel that love, carry that affection, cherish those memories, and keep moving forward. Not just allowing myself permanent stagnancy. Granted, I was very young when I went through my loss, so there was never very much like concretion in anything. Like everything in the middle of talking about whatever I was talking about, I ran out of storage again. I had to delete more apps. Um, but yeah, I mean, and I still love the family that I was a part of. They were very lovely to me, and we actually didn't meet as I being the partner, them being the family, until the day he died, and that was something that I struggled with. But his brother was always lovely to me. His brother's wife is always lovely to me. His parents are the most wonderful people I've ever met, and they have given me so much grace and love in grieving their son and brother, and I really appreciate that. And like I was the person who could not stay in the place where I was. I couldn't stay in my hometown. I couldn't be in the places. So I did what any young girl does. I met a man who moved me to Texas, and we stayed together for 6 months. I hated my life after that. And then a few months later, I met my husband. So, all in all, from partner loss to meeting my husband was about 2.5 years. And it felt like such a long time in between them because moments without people are forever. But it was so beautiful. I'm really grateful to God that like my life has worked out the way it has. And I never want that to get lost in translation. Back one more time. Maybe I fixed it. I don't know though. Get back to blending. But also, a part of the reason why I have never given up my dream of doing YouTube is because my partner that passed away was always so supportive, and he never didn't believe in me. And it just feels like the most honoring thing to him and also to my past self to be able to do that and to post these videos. So like if this is all I do and all I ever do is post videos, that's good for me because I am expressing the love that was shown and given to me through the support I had by following the dreams I had that were loved and supported. I'd did not mean for this whole video to take up this point of grief, etc., but I'm glad it did because I think it's an important conversation. I really do. I think it's so important to everyone, truly. Go back in with that brush I was just using with the brown. Blend over those edges. I think just to bring it back to the topic of conversation because it's where we're at. I had a point and it just totally escaped my brain. But yeah, how beautiful is it to be loved for the ending duration of someone's life? It's really hard to feel unworthy after that. Also gave me a big fat attitude because all these dudes were out here playing games after the fact, and I was like, no, sir. I am far too pretty for that. I have been through far too much. And that's okay to say. You can say that to yourself. You can say, I am too pretty to be accepting this behavior, and I have been too much, been through too much to be tolerating it. That's crazy. If you get anything from this video, that's it. You're too pretty and have been through too much to tolerate crappy behavior. I'm going to do something wild today. I'm going to put on some glitter liner. And the nice thing about a glitter liner is it doesn't have to be precise because it's glitter. I'm just doing like a cute little accentuation wing. And then go in with my brown mascara. This is Before Dawn by Ilia. It's Limitless Lash Mascara. Best mascara ever. And I'm like picky about mascaras. It's almost time for a new one of these. And then I'm gonna comb through some brow gel. Glossier Boy Brow, just giving them some extra shape and depth. I have like this missing piece of my brow. I guess I need to re-dye. And then for lips. And to finish the look, I'm going in. I'm coming out, so you better get this party started. I'm coming out, I'm coming. Whirl. My lips are too glossy. And final touch is going to be the Dior Lip Glow Oil, shade 001 Pink. And I think that's it, guys. Thank you so much for coming to my big long chat about grief. I know it was kind of unexpected, but it's been really heavy on my heart, and I really wanted to share that. So if you enjoyed, please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you in my next video. Peace out.